can party all night. It's the best of the best friend weekend. We can party all night. It's the best of the best friend weekend. We can party all night.
Say whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend podcast. It's your man Aldo Nice.
It's your boy Raj Smooth.
Juan, it's your boy Los, a.k.a. CAP.
Man, look, we are doing a little special, a one-off for right now, but eventually it's going to become the norm. We got the Best Friend Weekend, and we're going to actually give y'all a visual component to go with the audio that we normally do. And we got a special guest. I figured this was the best way to kick it off. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, young man, the man, the myth, the legend. Go ahead on.
What up, man? It's Bryce, man. Coming to y'all live, joining the Best Friend Weekend podcast. What's happening?
Yeah, man. So look, we happy to have you over here to tell a little bit about yourself, tell a little bit about your story, and we're gonna run through some important things, tell some jokes, do all of the good stuff that Best Friend Weekend normally does. And guess what? We got Raj Smooth in the house.
Hey,
like in Houston.
I don't know how to throw up the H. Is this the H?
Don't throw it up lame. Don't do this.
Nah,
the
don't do
H.
that.
Like
I'm out here. That's all that matters.
That's you in the same
Got a
space.
James
But I want to know how
Harden
to throw up the H for whenever
James
I go
Harden
out.
at that. Google James Harden.
Okay,
He'll
I'll
show
do
you.
it.
It's on YouTube.
So Bryce, man, look, back when we was growing up, man, I don't really remember you that much because, like I said, you was class of what, 03?
Yeah.
And me and Los was 2000, even though you're not from where we from.
No,
Whatever.
I'm not.
Raj, you was 04, right?
Correct.
So that was the first year when all of the people came, like from freshman high, and we had 9th grade and 10th grade at senior high. So I used to just think everybody was kind of like the same age, whatever. I didn't know no different. But I knew you was a young fly dude, used to play ball, all the rest of that stuff. Know you cut a little hair. But tell people out here a little bit about yourself. Give us the general overview. We'll take a deep dive into the story. But just give us a little bit about yourself to start off the pod, man.
Pretty much like you said, man. Young cat, humble cat, man. Came up just grinding, trying to make a way, just trying to execute my vision, different things. Being an entrepreneur. First love was basketball. Had hoop dreams, man, and that didn't work out, so it was on the plan B, man. And I always knew that I always wanted to do something on my own, create my own way.
Oh no, definitely, man. I do definitely remember you hooping and doing everything like that of the sort. No, I mean I know this is a little bit new, so we're gonna have to bring it in on the mic a little bit because they might not even need to hear you. Let's bring that thing on.
Well, got that late night talk show voice.
Maybe we should have planned that part out, Los, right?
Yeah, you definitely should have put a little music on behind that boy speaking like this. You heard me.
So this was all right. This was all part of the plan. You said, man, to execute the plan in regards to what you're doing. So what most people know you for is, doing hair, right? You cut hair. You got a shop out here, right?
Yeah.
And what's that called?
Impressive Cuts.
Okay. Impressive Cuts. So what we remember is the Impressive Cuts back in the B when we was growing up. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But it got me to thinking. The first question that came to my mind was like, barbers growing up back home. And I just started thinking like, who was your top 3 barbers of all time growing up? I'm gonna let whoever want to start. Los,
I go. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Nobody was talking about Shreveport though.
You heard me? Top of the boot.
Arkansas people
we
can't
ride
cut
coops
hair.
and shoot out the roof. But
Did they really say that?
nah, I just made that up just now. Sir Graham's Barbershop. That's a historical barbershop. Probably the longest black running barbershop in Shreveport, Louisiana. Sir Graham was the actual guy. You never get your hair cut by Sir Graham because Sir Graham was like 206 years old. So he just come and sit in his chair all day. And he maybe had one old customer who just need a baldy or whatever, use blades. But Mr. Jones first started coming out, he was fire until his hand started shaking. And then went from Mr. Jones to Lorenzo. Lorenzo was in Sir Graham's. He branched off, got his own shop around the corner. It was kind of like all the young people started going over there. And then Lorenzo tried to jump fly and move to Dallas. And then Anwar took over the shop. And now he's Anwar. He run the whole city cutting hair out there right now.
Do they give like free corn pudding samples at Shreveport barbershops?
Nah, that's an exclusive recipe. Everybody don't get a chance to do that.
Do y'all have like a special haircut in Shreveport? Do y'all have like the Shreveport fade, like the Boosie fade or something?
Nah.
The little shag in the back or something?
Nah, we don't have none of that. We got fire daddies. That's what we call them.
That's what y'all call
Not called
it.
fire
Not called fire daddies. No one ever.
I remember the
Cut
only thing I know
daddies.
about
Or
the
try
North
me.
Louisiana haircuts is they used to like to go backwards before they even had to do that. Like they recede your hairline before your hairline started to recede.
Them M&Ms.
Yeah.
Right?
It depends on who you go to, yeah.
They call them tongues, them M&Ms. That's
The backups.
Yeah, you.
Raj, who you got, man? Who is your top barber?
I got to start out with the young guy, man. Lil Joe. That's my guy. I never really had a messed up cut from Lil Joe. So high demand, hard to get to him, but
Joe definitely putting in work right now, man. Shout out to Joe, man. Brooklyn Fade.
Old school, not here with us anymore, but Lil Bill, that's my guy. The thing I liked about Lil Bill was that I could go to Lil Bill at 6 in the morning.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? If I because he was up,
Pull
he
a
was always
ticket.
working.
Well, he was driving a bus.
Yeah, but he
was
was up.
driving that bus, and then he dropped them kids off and come cut out.
Straight to cut. Yep. And just make sure you check both ways at the track. And then number one, my number one barber who I really couldn't get to is the guy sitting next to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
that's a shameless plug right there, man.
No, I gotta do it. That's my guy because being in a real cool, in a high demand barbershop to get cut by the guy, by that dude. They got that one chair that's like in the corner and like you're never gonna get cut by that dude unless you know somebody.
That makes sense.
That's who this person is to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my top 3.
That's a big honor, man. That's a big honor.
I'm gonna let you give the definitive list, but let me say mine right quick. So my top 3 definitely. I had Lil Bill up high on there, but the people that I remember. Bills was the barbershop I went to growing up, man. So at Bills it was Lil Bill, it was Norman gonna be in my top because Norman cut my hair all the way growing up, and Dion Hypolite. That Dion to take a long time now. You'll go after work at 5, you might not get cut till 9:30. You better play some Madden, chill out, do something different because you might not get a cut for a while. But that was the boy was thorough. So
I think that's how you know
that
your
was
barber
top
code.
3.
If you had to really wait.
No, wait.
Yeah, wait, and it was before cell phones when I was little.
Yeah.
So you go to Lorenzo, you try to catch him early Saturday morning. You get there at 8:30. He be like, I got 6. You be like, all right. So you just sitting in the barbershop. Then you come late. You have a game or something at the football game or baseball game. You 10 down. Your mama drop you off, your daddy drop you off, and they go on about their way, and you just be sitting around the barbershop. Give you $2 to get you a little drink and some chips.
Go get you a little Fago or something.
Yeah, you just sit there.
25 cents back in the day.
And a gumball.
Just sit there.
But I talked to my boy Jab earlier, and he was throwing other names. He was like, these names should make the list. He said, we should have Marlo on the list. He said, we should have Jabal on the list. He said, Drop's supposed to make the list.
Yeah.
Obviously, he said Lil Joe, too. He said somebody, Ian. He said Eric Jacob. He was throwing a whole bunch of names. He was like, the B-Town got talented barbers. And he was like, never forget. He told me number 1, though, for him, definitely Cliff. He said that was the best to ever do it. Now, that's what Jab said. Now, who would your list be? You got a professional barber viewpoint of the whole situation. Let us know what's going on.
Well, let me first start off by tapping off, spinning off of what you said about Dion. Dion was a real thorough cat, actually related, and he one of the cats that I grew up watching.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he definitely put in work. But like you said, New Iberia is known for our barbers. We definitely known, that's the mecca of haircutting. I've been in a lot of different places, man, in big cities, small towns. But the talent we have out there in the barber industry is amazing. My top barbers... 3, I'm gonna pay homage to the man that I know actually kicked it off, legendary Mr. Bill Russell. The father.
He actually did win 9 championships?
Yeah,
13
championships.
13 championships for the Celtics. That is the same person.
So he used to cut hair after he played.
No, he would cut hair on the sideline. Halftime. Go ahead.
In the B.
In the B.
Yeah, him. Another cat that I would say, another barber I would say is Duke.
Okay.
Clarence McCoy, man. Duke is real talented barber, man. When it comes to artwork or whatever it is, just clean cut. He in my top list. And my number 1, man, no other than my father, the Heater man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just for the type of barber he is and what he did for the game.
Absolutely. And I mean that name it rings bells in New Iberia. When we was growing up, it was we looked at Cliffs a certain type of way because where we grew up, I lived a little bit by downtown area. Raj lived across the bayou. And it's when we look at different barbershops, we went to Bill's because that's where my daddy brought me. We're going to Bill's, and that's where we're going to go all the time. But I always looked at Cliffs, to me, as kind of the live barbershop. That's where all the live niggas was at. I don't know, Raj, how you looked at Cliffs.
No, it's the same. All I'm going to do is echo your sentiments because my mom and them brought me to Bill's. I don't know why. I don't know why, but yeah, for sure, if I had a choice, if I could go back in retrospect, I would want to go to Cliffs.
But I wasn't paying for my own haircut. So if I ain't paying for my own haircut,
You go where I tell you to go.
I'm going where my pa tell me to go.
Right.
So how did you look at Cliffs as like, a staple of like where, like in the hierarchy? Like how did you look at the shop and everything that went on there?
Oh man, I looked at the barbershop of Cliffs pretty much as like the place. Like it took what Mr. Bill Russell started and built, and my dad, he just took it to a whole nother level. He put the style and the finesse, and also like the entrepreneurship, because his thing was, the guys that came and work underneath him, like, hey, I'm gonna prepare y'all to get your own. And a lot of the barbers y'all mentioned all have, their own places, but they come from, that camp, the Cliff Impressive Cut camp.
The Cliff used to cut at Bills?
Yeah, that's where we actually started.
I didn't know that.
That's where we actually started at Bills, man, in the late 80s.
So I guess my question for you, what makes a good barber to you? When you looking at a barber, somebody cutting hair, what make you say, okay, I see what you're doing?
Well, for me, of course, the precision of the haircut is key, because that's what catches the eye. But for me, what makes a good barber is you got to be seasoned all around the board. You got to be dependable. You got to be being able to, like you said, your man was pulling up at 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to deliver to the client. And all those facets, go into making a great barber.
I mean, I've always felt like they need how they got like the shows, like the tattoo competitions where everybody doing tattoos and trying to win $1 million or whatever it is. I always feel like that'd be interesting to watch some boys like do like a reality show on Top Cut and boys cut daddy. And boys
With no guards, like you got no guard.
And they give them the different challenges, right? Like you got to do some designs one time. You got to do, hey man, don't use that idea. That's my idea.
It's already done.
Brought to you by best friend. Oh, it's already
somebody
out?
got you.
Nah, but I was gonna have
Los know is reality TV.
Definitely.
So it's already
Expert.
done. Yeah, I mean, I guess all them things is
That's something similar to it though.
So yeah, I mean, it's a lot, man. So you talked about Cliffs, and I guess this is a thing that we definitely want to talk about. You got the gear on, you got the Cliffs Impressive Cuts. I'm just curious, like, tell me the story. Tell me a little bit more about Cliff, about what you're trying to do in regards to Cliffs Impressive Cuts. I just want to hear that. Let's get that out there, man.
Well, first I'm gonna start off by saying, like, Cliffs, my father, Cliff Williams Jr., the founder of it, he just had a passion for cutting hair, and not only just cutting hair, serving people, serving the community. And so now, of course, with his death, he passed me the torch before, he actually passed away. So I just feel there's an obligation and a duty just to carry on, his legacy and what he started and what he built.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely we had your little brother Deontay on the show before, and he was telling us a little bit more about that experience. Same slogan, can't stop, won't stop. So I guess that's something that goes on throughout the family, and just kind of that whole idea of opening back up that shop. What do you think is important about bringing it back to New Iberia? I mean, you got your own thing going on in Houston right now. So why do you want to get that going again in New Iberia?
Because it's nothing like home, man. It's nothing like home. And also that's where it all started at. And last but not least, for me, is like the community needs it. The city needs it. Definitely. I felt as though like when, with everything happening to my father, and then we closed the doors for a while, it's like the city lost structure, and that was a place where a lot of people went and looked up to. Man, you could go and get practically anything, advice. You get linked with people, different businesses. You looking for a job, you come into the barbershop. So that I feel as though that the community definitely needed, and not only the community, the culture.
Okay, and I mean, I remember the first shop was in Midtown. That's the shop I remember. And I was talking to them, and they said that the shop actually moved uptown by Back Manila. Like I didn't even I honestly must have been in college or something. I might not even remember that it moved. Where we thinking about opening the shop back up at?
Well, we go open back up on St. Mary Street.
Okay,
not far from Back Manila. Before it was Halka and Julia, like you said, in Midtown. But yeah, we're gonna open back up same location.
are you planning to be there cutting or what? How we staffing this thing? You need to send us out there. We gonna cut. Sam.
I might just. But I don't know. That as a question everybody want to know. But I'm gonna just kind of leave that one for when people come in. We open our doors and you be able to come and see.
So it's gonna be
check
surprised.
it out.
Yeah.
Come out there,
Damn
some
right,
smoke
yeah.
like you run out the tunnel of the football game.
Huh, bro?
Boy,
New barbers. I think you should start, like, I've thought about this for a while, and I got one barber I think you should, like, you know how when they say, can you build a team around one player? And it would be like, what team would you build your team around? You know, Zion or LeBron or whoever. I think if you could build your shop around one barber, it would be Mutti. So I think just give. No?
No.
I don't know who Mutti is.
I just love that name. Cause
Nah, I don't
not
know who
Mutti.
Mutti is.
Y'all don't remember Mutti from Bills? No, that's not it.
We had a dude called Smitty that used to cut bad hair. We'll get you a Smitty special.
Hey, man, I didn't say that man cut bad hair. I said
Oh,
I
that's
would build a
what you
team around him.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh, my Uncle Joe. we give my Uncle Joe. Now, my Uncle Joe the other day told me on Ann Street, shout out parking there, my Uncle Joe, Styles Unlimited, he said, he was like, you know what? Ask him about me. He said, I never was the best barber, but I was the quickest. I get 6 heads in an hour.
Oh, that ain't always a good thing. You know. I can wait for a good haircut.
6 heads in an hour?
But I want to touch on what you said about going to the barbershop and, you know, getting advice and all type of thing. I think that's the one thing that's lost nowadays. You know, barbershops, everybody's so exclusive now. Everybody got their own little, like my barber, he in a little booth, one chair. You know, that's it. You come in, door closed, and, you know, a whole bunch of talking TVs on the wall, you know, flat screens and stuff. But I think it's different. You know, it's a different feel when you're in the barbershop, filled with people. Old heads coming to have a different type of conversations. You hear me? I think it's just a different feel when you're in a real barbershop like that. You know what I'm saying? You can get, you know, they got boys in there selling Walmart gift cards for the low. Somebody coming there with a Buick bumper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the barbershop. They coming there with a pit bull puppies and all kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I think, yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I think the barbershop is a special place, but I think that the barbershop needs a special person. And, you know, so I'd love to, I can't wait to see what the business is going to blossom into. And I know that you could be that special person, but I also know that you could choose who that special person is. You're going to build your team around. So I can't wait to see how that's going to develop.
Right.
And a big thing we like to talk about, like just in general conversation, is new age 2020 barbershop, meaning that you gotta like we used to walk in, we pull that ticket. You know what I mean? You sit down and you wait for your number or whatever it is, right? Well, you know, you never had the barber ticket.
Nah, he be pointing at you.
You've never had a barber ticket?
That's
never had a barber
interesting. I thought a barber ticket was a staple.
That was a part of like the 90s barber experience.
You never had a ticket.
Right?
You walk
To go
in.
in
Like the
Pull the ticket.
70s or 60s,
No,
they used
because-
to have this thing.
Nah, you walk in, or either two things. If you like, once Lorenzo started getting so many people, you had to start making appointments.
Okay.
So, you know, you get a haircut on Saturday, you call Monday or Tuesday, but Tuesday, because they close on Monday, you call Tuesday, you're like, hey, I'm coming this time. You're going to be 30 minutes late anyway because it's so many, you know. But, yeah. But then before that, you just walked in, first come, first serve.
A lot of people do that. I'm saying the new school thing because I say this. Just as a consumer, I feel like walk-ins should never be welcome.
I agree.
I feel like everybody
I'm on
should,
style seat
I feel
every
like
day.
there should be a schedule, and I'm getting my cut at, like, because everybody's life too busy to be.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I know you can't pass up that dollar, though. Like, if it's like, hey, that walk-in coming in, I ain't got somebody sitting in my chair, I'm going to cut that
That's
thing.
different, though.
Yeah.
But if you got to, like, feel like my barber don't take walk-ins unless you just absolutely know you. He don't
Yeah.
do walk-ins. It's all appointment.
Well,
I was in the chair before he would do walk. He said, man, you ain't make no appointment.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got nothing for you.
I didn't see
Book.
people pull out, like, computers, and they had a whole schedule going on with all of this.
That style
Yeah,
seat.
and I'm gonna tell you about that. From what I've seen, the game and you know the barber industry and how it's transitioning, walk-ins will always be a part of it.
Gotta be, I mean, yeah.
But you have different workers that's gonna go cater to those walk-ins,
Yeah.
and we have other seasoned
Yeah.
barbers that look, I have my clientele, and that's just what it
Them
is.
boys
You
at
want
the
to get
front of
with
the
me,
barbershop.
Makes sense.
book an
Yeah.
appointment.
It's like anything else. Like people who do tats, they probably got somebody in there who only do appointments, and other people who like, oh, you want that $25 daddy off the wall? Come
Go.
sit down right here.
Yeah.
Go see old boy
Like,
over there.
but it's like demand. Like, if you hire in demand, you got to have appointments. You know what I'm saying? I think when you first starting off, kind of building your clientele fresh out of barber school. That's how you build your clientele by taking walk-ins. Boy, like he like his cut.
Correct.
Now he coming to you.
So I mean, you were just talking a little bit about trying to reopen Cliffs, and that's on the horizon as a way to honor your father's legacy. And I think that that's a very important thing that us as black men who had the pleasure and the privilege of knowing our fathers, it's kind of our obligation to do. So I just want to ask y'all, man, like Los, I know this is kind of maybe it's a subject, right?
I'm good.
It's a year. It's about a year anniversary.
No, not about today.
Today is the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, my pa passed away. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's all about family and community. You know what I'm saying? He was big on that. That's one thing he focused on throughout his life. He always told me, he want to lead the world different than how he came into it. You know what I'm saying? So I take that mantra every day and make sure that I'm still giving back, still stay in touch with my family, and step into his shoes and doing the right thing.
Okay.
That's big.
So Raj, how do you feel like you carry on your father's legacy?
I mean, so my dad was always a hard worker, and there's something we're gonna talk about later. I don't think that my father was ever absent, but I think that he just kind of like how we just finished talking about with Bryce, like put the right people in my place. Like he wasn't always there, because he was away working hard to make a better life for my family, and I appreciate hard work now. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate like going to work, showing up on time, showing up better dressed in there. Like learning everything that I need. Like I appreciate all of those little small things that my dad kind of instilled in me, and like he probably didn't even know he was instilling those things in me because he was away doing that work. Right. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I know this is gonna sound trivial after y'all just said instilling hard work and kind of doing things for the community, but like I feel like carrying on your father's legacy is like the things that you look at your dad for. Like I think about the barbershop. I think about growing up and how my pops would walk in the barbershop and you have to pull that ticket, and then some people would be on some side of like he walk in the barbershop and he walk straight to the back by Mr. Bill and them, and he'd be in the back clowning, yucking it up with all them boys. And I used to always think, man, it's live that my daddy live. Like and like that when amongst men, and I think that that's something that's kind of like a lot of times black men don't like talk about kind of male relationships amongst men. My pops was just a cool dude, and I was like I just always wanted to carry on that legacy that other men could look at me as a man that's like, oh yeah, I like that dude. That dude that's a leader. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I try to exude that as much as possible as well. You know what I mean? So I mean, and you said like the things that you're doing. I feel like that's exceptional. Is there any like there's a thing that we was looking at earlier, and we was looking at the this meme, and I'm gonna throw it up on the screen, man. And it said, what type of dad did you have growing up, man? And it had the number 1 through 9. So I know y'all got it in your phone still. Yeah. Which one did y'all say was your dad growing up, man? I'll pass it around. Whoever want to start.
I'll go number 4.
Number 4. Oh, that's who your pa was? So your pa was Furious Styles?
For a real, he cool, but he dropping knowledge all the time. Don't play that bullshit at all. You got a line, he hit your neck. But my father, think about him when he was upset, he never screamed and hollered. He just so cool about it, it made you scared. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you do something at school, get in trouble. He never, ever was really just going crazy on you. He was always cool, real relaxed, wasn't tripping about nothing, but he stayed dropping the knowledge, and he was always there for you anytime you need him. When you was in real trouble, he ain't gonna be there. That's my Paul.
Mm-hmm. Bryce, what you say, man? What Cliff was number 1 through 9? Which numbers? Which one did he remind you of the most?
I would say probably prime time number 1.
Ain't that what I told you he was gonna say?
And number 4, he was a mixture of both. Of course, he was a fly guy coming up, everybody's favorite. But at the same time, he would always hit me with those gems and instill that. Those good words and those that sound advice in my ear. You see me heading in the in the wrong direction, turning, going the wrong way. You're like, nah, you don't want to do that, man. Damn for you, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would say number 1 and number 4, man, definitely him.
Okay, Raj, what you say?
Man, this is crazy because I don't feel like my dad is many of these, but so it's I'm gonna have to go a combination. What's kind of crazy? My parents had me later in life, so from what I understand from my brother, my dad was number 2 before I came along because he was in the military.
Okay.
So I'm glad I didn't really get to know that guy.
I don't want to know that version of my pa.
No, yeah, I don't want to know because they be like beating up. I don't know. They beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Your brother
really
was
know.
abused.
Man, the closest one, and what's crazy about number 6 is that he's a penny pincher. Like that's what it is. Yeah. But like just as far as like being cool, like being like personable, like I think I gotta go with number 6. Yeah. He wasn't much of a penny pincher. But he was like that guy. My dad wasn't. Everybody want like, you know what I'm saying? Number 4 is like super cool. Like, like wisdom and all of these things. But like, I feel like my dad was just a cool person. Like he just was like a nice guy.
I mean, and that's a good quality to have, man. I mean, you look at him and like honestly, my dad was when I was growing up, he's number 3. Devlin James Evans, busting ass and then
You needed your ass bust though.
But my dad was cool, but he hey man, he'd turn that, hey,
Yeah.
Sit down.
My dad would be like, hey, come on in here. You know what time it is. Dad had a board, man. He's whooping me and Chunky with a board with holes in it. You get 4 licks, bro.
That's all you got was a boy?
Yeah, 8 hours. From dude 6'6". Pause.
No, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a 3 and a 6. So I'm gonna start at 6 out there too, because obviously my pops had a lot of jobs too. So I ain't gonna. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that he was working hard too.
Yeah.
But 3 and 6 is a good little mix. I mean, it'd probably be crazy if your dad. Like, I don't know if anybody will come on here and be like, nah, my dad was number 5, but it was a whole dope fiend out here.
You never
I don't
know.
think. But I mean. That's
when
a
you get
whole
grown,
different experience.
Sometimes you gotta let go. Your pa was a dope head, he's a dope head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is to your pa.
I feel like the hardest one would have been if your daddy was that preacher dude over there. Like, that's a whole different experience.
But
man.
I mean, really, I think most preacher kids is the wildest kids ever.
I mean, so they say, man. Look, so I mean,
About Pastor Lowe's children, right?
Well, look, let's talk about some other adventures that you got going on, because I know not only, I mean, we're talking about the haircut and we're talking about the barbershop, but let's make sure we talk about some of these other things that you got going on, because I know we've talked about real estate before when I ran into you, and you're talking about marketing and doing some other stuff like promotions. So tell us about some of the events that you got going on, some of the things that you have of the pipeline. What we got happening?
Yeah, well, I always did do a little promotion with my company, Bryce Promotions. But right now, what I have in the pipeline is we're going to be celebrating the 30-year anniversary of Cliff Impressive Cuts, and also the grand opening. Black Tie Affair is going to be April 26th at the K Community Center. So that's one of the big things or big events that I have going on.
And how can people get information about that?
You get information from it. You can go on Eventbrite. Tickets are on sale right now on Eventbrite. Also, social media outlets, man. We promoting it. We out there. Me and my team promoting it heavy. So
share your social media stuff. So if people want to contact you, definitely.
Social media, man, is at Cliff's Impressive Cuts via Instagram, and also Facebook, Bryce Hypolite. Can log in to either one of those two and definitely get any type of information.
All right, man. Y'all got y'all black ties ready?
Definitely got mine ready.
But
Mine in the
Riley
car.
got his.
I'm ready. I'm there. And that's my birthday, so you know how it works. I'm in Houston right now. We kind of talked about how this is kind of like my birthday celebration right now, right? Because I'm here.
It's your birthday.
And then that's actually my birthday, so I will celebrate Cliff.
Yeah, it's my
Impressive
dad's
Cuts.
birthday, too. It's
Is that
actually
right?
his birthday. Yeah.
Really?
It's
Okay,
actually his
well, there we
birthday,
go.
too.
See,
that's what's up.
all kind of things in common. So I'm
at
thinking that
that.
y'all should have some barbers on site to cut niggas' hair prior to the black tie event. What you think? We in that B. We don't even know where to go get no cut in the B. Nah,
It could be the day party.
it'll be the okay. There you go.
Hey, you're on the something. You're on the something.
Aha!
Yeah. Yeah, so I have that. And as far as other entrepreneur things, like you say, the real estate, man. I'm heavy into the real estate. I love that industry, man. For many different reasons, but one of the main reasons is that creating generational wealth.
Okay.
It's one of the key things that I try to do, not only for me, but for my family in years to come.
So if you got questions about that, you might hit him up too and say, hey, look, I got some questions about how to get that started. Or no free advice.
Oh man, I'm always willing to get a game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold it in, man, because I like to learn from different people in different avenues. So people have any questions, man, feel free.
Where's your shop located in Houston? I mean, I know you mentioned it, but I don't know where it's located at.
3345 Fondren,
Okay, so right there off of Fondren on the southwest.
Southwest side.
Oh, I know where that's at.
And walk-ins are welcome, or we got to call for an appointment.
Yeah, get on style seat, bro. That boy important.
Yeah,
Get on style seat, dog. Let that boy
I told
know.
y'all
some
that's the
walk-ins, but mostly appointments.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna be like, oh man, you remember podcast?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
he'll be
yeah.
like,
I got 25. Relax.
just I get
Nah,
you.
my barber always say, "Hey, did you made an appointment?" He always say, "No, what's up, man? You made an appointment?" Oh, nah, I ain't got nothing for you. Oh, you tell them boys for that. You always gonna be 75. My barber expensive.
Well, I mean, this weekend is. I mean, we recording it right before Best Friend Weekend.
Bow,
So
bow, bow.
we expect to see you out during the weekend, man. It's going
Come
down
on,
this
man.
weekend at all different places in the Houston area. So we're gonna plan to keep doing some of these events. So maybe we'll collab on some things down the road in
Definitely.
regards to what we, the things that we trying to accomplish and the things that you trying to accomplish. But more than anything, man, look, we appreciate you coming on here and being with us today, talking with us today. Those of y'all out here who checking it out, appreciate y'all listening.
Bow.
I mean, we're gonna give you a little bit more video things in the future.
Bow.
You know what I mean? You gonna stop or no?
No. Bow.
But hey, man, look, until next time, man, have a great weekend. Make it a best friend weekend. And we out.
All night is the best friend weekend. We can party all night is the best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew. It's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Ross moving, Lowe's, Rumble, Aldo, Nice is the uncle.